My sister is nominally a globetrotter. But deep down, she wants to be my wife. Every night, she has to sneak into my bed no matter what, often hugging me and nibbling lightly on my neck. Even more outrageous is, every morning, I have to use the facial cleanser she prepared. My parents know about this and are not only not angry, but cheerfully stand by and cheer us on. Honestly, everything started half a month ago. That day, my father called to say he had met a rich lady and was about to marry her as my stepmother. And that woman also had a daughter who was 2 years older than me. Thus, I suddenly gained a sister. Her name is Taylor. Fair-skinned, tall, and incredibly beautiful. But she always looks at me with a strange gaze, which makes me feel uneasy. Finally, I couldn't stand it anymore. So I asked in a low voice, "Sister, have we met before? Otherwise, why do you keep staring at me?" Hearing me call her sister, Taylor's beautiful face clearly showed a look of satisfaction. She took out her phone, scrolled for a moment, then, placed it on the table. She looked at me and chuckled. "How interesting. Weren't you quite fierce when we argued online? Why are you so timid now that we meet in person?" I was stunned, unconsciously lowering my head to look at the phone screen. As soon as I looked, my soul nearly flew out of me. The woman who had argued with me online for 3 whole years is now my sister. 3 years ago, while in college, I wrote a novel and met a netizen named Potter. I thought we would be friends who exchanged writing ideas. But unexpectedly, as soon as we connected, she scolded me fiercely because she didn't like the tragic ending in my story. I intended to delete her many times, but she often gave me writing inspiration. So, the two of us kept in touch for 2.5 years. Until half a month ago, Potter suddenly confessed her feelings to me. At that time, my mind was only focused on Sophia in my story. So I wasn't interested in online dating. I deliberately provoked her. "I only like older sisters. If you want to pursue me, you have to be my sister first. If you can do that, I'll consider it." I also added, "Besides, you're not that beautiful. Stop dreaming in broad daylight." When I looked back at the chat history on Taylor's phone, everything became clear to me. Seeing that I understood, Taylor stood up with a smile. With a teasing look. "Well, my good little brother, didn't you say before that you would step on your sister? Why are you silent now? Tell me, how should your sister handle you?" Hearing that, a chill ran down my spine. But thinking again, if I admit defeat now, I'll probably never be able to raise my head again. I gritted my teeth, intending to appear tough. Unexpectedly, as if she could read my mind, she placed her hand on my shoulder, forcing me to sit back down. Forgot to mention, I have a Taekwondo black belt. And I also took an anti-harassment course. After hearing that, I immediately tucked my tail. "Sister, I was just kidding. I was blind not to recognize your talent. Please forgive me." Seeing my attitude change so quickly, Taylor nearly burst out laughing. But thinking this was their first meeting, she still held back, afraid of scaring me too much. "Let's go, I'll take you to see the new house. Might as well buy a few new outfits too. You can't dress sloppily when working at my company." I originally intended to refuse. But thinking about my father's recent remarriage, I didn't want to cause any more trouble. So I reluctantly followed her into a high-end fashion store. Under the enthusiastic service of the sales assistant in black stockings, I carried several bags of designer clothes and obediently got into the Porsche parked by the roadside. As soon as I sat in the seat, Taylor handed me a black card. "Take this. This is your spending money from me. Buy whatever you want, let me know if it's not enough." I originally intended to refuse. But then I heard her add, "This is what your mother told me to give you. $10. Consider it a meeting gift." Hearing that, I changed my tone immediately. If it's from Auntie's heart, then I wouldn't dare to refuse. I pretended to calmly reach out to take it. But Taylor pulled her hand back. With a bright and playful smile. "A man must keep his word. You said you wouldn't take it, so you won't take it." Seeing the $10 about to slip through my fingers, I panicked, quickly grabbing for it. Who said I wouldn't take it? I was just being polite just now. Sister, hurry up and give it to me. After a brief struggle, I finally snatched the card from her hand and laughed triumphantly. It turns out a Taekwondo black belt isn't so scary after all. Before the joy could last, I suddenly realized I was lying on top of Taylor. The two of us were practically glued together. I panicked and tried to jump up, when she suddenly wrapped her arms around my waist, leaned close to my ear, and chuckled. You smell nice, little brother. Now that it's like this, could it be that you harbor inappropriate thoughts about your sister? Hearing that, I swallowed hard, and my mind suddenly recalled the online confession from half a month ago. I quickly struggled out of her embrace, my heart pounding erratically, and didn't dare to look at that gaze again. I stammered an explanation. Don't talk nonsense, how could I have any thoughts about you? Besides, as for dating, even a dog wouldn't want it, let alone me. Taylor looked at my flustered state and just smiled faintly, not saying anything more. Looking at this reaction, there's an 80% chance this kid is a perfect match for Sophia. And surely nothing has happened between the two of them. Otherwise, why would his face be completely red just from a slight touch? In the female dormitory of Harvard University, Sophia's best friend, Emma, was sitting by the bed, looking worriedly at her friend, who was sweating profusely from the pain. If it were before, he would surely bring red sugar water every day. Or should I call John? You try to lower your voice, apologize a little, and ask him to cook some red sugar water and bring it over. Sophia bit her lip, recalling the times she had treated him badly, feeling a little regretful, then nodded slightly. Seeing that she finally bowed her head, Emma breathed a sigh of relief, thinking that since John used to pamper her like that, there might still be a chance to salvage things. The call was quickly connected. Emma said, Sophia is in pain. She knows she didn't treat you well before. The canteen is closed now. Could you cook some red sugar water and bring it over? On the other end of the line, I burst into a cold laugh after hearing it. Is this what you call an apology? It's clearly just wanting me to continue being her lapdog, isn't it? Her stomach ache has nothing to do with me? Should I run over to take care of her? Just because she's uncomfortable? We are all adults. Can you stop having such delusions? After saying that, I immediately hung up the phone. Lying in bed, hearing every word, Sophia's face grew even paler. She thought, wasn't it just rejecting a confession? We can still be friends, right? Hasn't it always been that way? The more she thought, the angrier she got. Sure enough, people's hearts change easily. He used to say how much he liked me. But now I see, it was all fake. John, you will regret this. At the same time, in the villa in the upscale California neighborhood, Taylor, wearing a white nightgown, was half lying, half sitting on the sofa watching TV. Seeing me hang up, she asked curiously, who called late at night? Your girlfriend? Hearing that, I snapped. What the hell does it have to do with you? It's so annoying. Hey, wait a minute, I only fast-forwarded a little. The movie is almost over. What do you know? Watching a movie at 2x speed is the best. That's my experience from years of binge watching. I was irritated. Watching at 2x speed and calling it enjoying it? Give me the remote right now. No way. Soon, the living room was filled with laughter and arguing. If it were anyone else, I would have probably given in. But with this 3-year online enemy, I'd rather die than lose. The next morning, I yawned widely, took a suit out of the wardrobe and put it on. Today, I have an interview at Taylor's Singer Group. Of course, I have no intention of actually working there. I just want to go for the sake of formality. And do poorly so I get rejected. Thinking back to the past, if I really worked under her, she would definitely find a way to torture me to death. In the CEO's office of Singer Group, a female secretary with a ponytail walked in, holding a pile of documents, and softly asked, "You called for me, sir?" Taylor didn't look up, and threw a photo. "There's an interview this afternoon. You go supervise it for me. The person in this picture must be hired, no matter what he says." That photo was of me. When the secretary left, Taylor smiled faintly, her eyes full of hidden meaning. You little brat. Did you think I didn't know what you were planning? You want to escape from the palm of my hand? Not in this lifetime. The interview began. The conference room was fully seated. Secretary Luna sat in the center position, observing the candidates, her eyebrows furrowing more and more. Could the CEO have sent the wrong photo? Just then, a voice sounded at the door. Sorry, I was late because of traffic. I calmly walked in, nodded slightly, and sat down in a random empty spot. Seeing that I had finally arrived, Secretary Luna breathed a sigh of relief. Then announced, the interview begins. After the others had introduced themselves in turn. It was my turn. A judge asked suspiciously, did you submit a resume? I deliberately put on a smug smile. A resume? I don't have one. I never bring a resume to an interview. I secretly thought to myself. This time I'm definitely rejected, right? But no. Everyone was stunned. And Secretary Luna surprisingly stood up and applauded. Excellent. A genius mindset is indeed different. Unique and innovative work methods. John is exactly the person our corporation needs. I was dumbfounded. What is going on? I came here to mess up, not to get hired? I quickly defended myself. Actually, I absolutely hate working overtime. I have to leave immediately when the time is up. That's great. Someone who values time like you must be very disciplined. I gritted my teeth. When I was in school, I was always at the bottom of the class. No problem. It shows you have foresight. People like you understand what reality is. I also am very lazy. Working 8 hours a day, I get bored after only half an hour. Do you still want to hire me? Knowing how to rest appropriately is the mark of a smart person. Such highly efficient working methods. You are clearly a person of principle. Half an hour later, in the CEO's office, Taylor was looking down at documents. Suddenly, bam, the door was pushed open hard. I angrily walked in, went straight to the desk, and slammed my hands down. Taylor, are you messing with me? Taylor looked up, her eyes cold, her voice full of authority. Call me, sister. Being stared at by her like that, I immediately felt a bit guilty, and softly called out, Sister. Taylor was now satisfied, nodding, standing up and walking towards me, gently stroking my head, and softly saying, Good boy, follow me. I'll make sure you eat well and dress well. Your sister here will protect you. I was speechless, secretly thinking, what protection? All she does is tease me all day. A woman's mouth is truly the devil. Anyone who believes her is truly a fool. Under Secretary Luna's arrangement, I was quickly assigned to the company's planning department. On my first day of work, I was still happy, when Taylor suddenly sent a message. There's a party tonight, leave with me after work. Seeing the message, I raised an eyebrow. She calls and I have to go? She really treats me like a pet dog. I immediately sent back a short reply. Then turned off my phone, not bothering to pay attention. Suddenly, I noticed a few female colleagues next to me secretly looking at me. When I caught her eye, she quickly turned her head away, looking shy. She seemed to be a new employee who started today. And her name, I think it was Selena. Thinking that, I couldn't help but smile. Selena, why are you secretly looking at me? Are you captivated by my handsomeness? If you want to look, just look straight, no need to be shy. Are you calling me Selena? Selena was stunned. She lowered her head, a few strands of hair falling onto her shoulder. Slightly trembling, she spoke with a rural accent. I wasn't looking at you. Don't talk nonsense. In the CEO's office, Taylor was glued to the screen, which displayed the surveillance footage. I and Selena were talking and laughing. She gritted her teeth. The pen in her hand nearly snapped. This is infuriating. This damned little brother. Lazy at work, doesn't bother to reply to my message. And now he dares to flirt with a female colleague. Just wait until after work and see how I deal with you. Secretary Luna, standing nearby, witnessed everything, and couldn't help but secretly sigh. My usually cold and arrogant CEO is now exactly like a girl so jealous she's losing her composure. The afternoon passed quickly. I, who couldn't wait, darted out of my seat like an arrow, excitedly running straight into the elevator. Finally, time to go home. But when I stepped out of the elevator on the first floor, I saw the person I least wanted to meet right now. I was just about to turn around and hide when I was called back. "Get back here." I had no choice but to stop. My face scrunched up as I turned around, facing Taylor, who was walking toward me. "Sister, what a coincidence. You also like leaving work on time?" Taylor stood in front of me, gently stroked my hair with her hand, and smiled half sincerely, half teasingly. "The moment you see me, you want to run away. Am I that scary?" She narrowed her eyes and continued, "You don't focus on work when you're supposed to. And you go flirting with female colleagues. And you even dare not to reply to my message. Tell me, how do you want to die?" I gave a forced laugh. "If I can die in the arms of a beautiful woman, it would be worth it." Taylor slightly curled her lips. "You want me to hug you to death?" "It's not impossible." The sunset fell. The red evening clouds were gradually swallowed by the night. I thought tonight was to have dinner with Sophia. But when I opened the door to the private room in the hotel, I found a strange middle-aged man sitting inside. On his face, there were still a few features similar to Taylor's. The suit was impeccably ironed. Gold-rimmed glasses reflected sharp eyes, exuding the aura of someone accustomed to a high position. Seeing Taylor, the man's expression softened slightly. "Taylor, you're here? Sit down, it's been a long time. Why didn't you call your dad?" Robert, her father, was smiling. But when his gaze swept over me, it was full of contempt. Taylor pulled me to sit across from him and whispered, "This is my dad." I maintained a calm expression, but inside I was astonished. Then who is the freeloading dad at home? I had vaguely heard rumors about the Sue family. It seemed that Taylor and Sophia's father had a conflict over something, which ultimately led to a divorce. But I really didn't understand why she brought me here to meet him. "Taylor," Robert began, "what have you thought about the matter I told you to consider last time? With your talent, staying in the country is a waste. Going abroad is where you can fully develop your potential. As long as I've told you many times." Taylor coldly interrupted, "I'm not going anywhere. Do you want to turn me into someone like you? Ignoring your wife and child for the sake of your career? For profit? Sorry, I can't do that." Hearing this, I immediately pricked up my ears and listened intently. Robert was stunned by his daughter's words and quickly explained, "You don't understand your father's heart. I just want you to have a better future. I want you to live more comfortably." That statement made Taylor even angrier. "For me? That's just an excuse for your selfishness. From childhood until now, when have you truly cared about me? You're always busy with work, only coming home once every few months, always saying it's for me. Do you even remember when my birthday is? In your heart, there is forever only yourself." Robert was left speechless, unable to find any words to justify himself. It was at this moment that I finally understood why Taylor's parents divorced. I didn't expect her childhood to be so pitiful. Having a father like that is truly a tragedy. Seeing his daughter was not listening, Robert sighed heavily and stood up to leave the room. When he walked past Taylor, he said in a sincere voice, "If you ever change your mind, call your father." With that, he pushed the door and walked out, the sound of his footsteps gradually fading. Waiting for him to leave, I was about to open my mouth to see if I should comfort Taylor. I just saw her eyes red, rushing straight into my arms. Taylor quietly sobbed into my chest. It turned out this was the reason she wanted to take me to meet her father. Because in the most vulnerable moments, everyone needs someone to confide in. When her usual cold shell melted away, I realized how fragile she was inside. Just a few words from her father were enough to make her emotions completely collapse. "I really don't know what to do with you anymore. Cry, letting it out will make you feel better." I gently hugged Taylor, comforting her tenderly. Outside the private room, Justin saw Ariana put her hand on the doorknob. but she didn't push it open for a long time. He quietly asked, "Aren't you going in to check?" Taylor's cries echoed from the crack of the door, each sound clearly audible. Ariana finally lowered her hand, shook her head, and said, "Having Justin by her side is enough. In this world, the only person Taylor can drop her guard around is him. Even I, her mother, can't make her feel that comfortable." 3 years ago, Taylor and now are two completely different people. At that time, she was always gloomy, unable to escape the shadow of her parents' divorce. Later, by chance through Justin, she read the novel I wrote. The world in the pages of my book was full of beautiful things. Even love was flawless. At that time, I put all my feelings for Sophia into the story. Unexpectedly, that made Taylor pay even more attention to me. The complication between us later actually only started because she wanted to have that pure kind of love. The kind of love that could heal all wounds. As I wrote in the novel, a peaceful night passed. On Saturday morning, Taylor vaguely opened her eyes, looking at the familiar ceiling, feeling momentarily confused. The memory of last night rushed back. It seemed I had carried her back. Thinking of that, she quickly sat up, looked down at her clothes, then revealed a disappointed look. For the first time, she doubted her own charm, muttering to herself, "Could it be that he is really gay?" Taylor sighed, disappointed, and got up to change clothes. She is always strict with herself. Even on weekends, she has to maintain her work routine. As for me, I slept until noon. When I woke up, finished washing my face, I brought a large bag of snacks to the sofa and sat down to watch cartoons. I only like two things in this life: beautiful legs and anime. In the past, whenever I was free, I buried myself in writing to earn money. Now it's different. I already have over 1 million in my account. Why bother writing anymore? And what about readers urging for new chapters? If they're so good, let them track my network IP and come beat me up. Just like that, an afternoon passed with the sound of cartoons. Around 4 o'clock, Johnny called. "Justin, where are you? Class reunion tonight, don't tell me you forgot?" It was then that I suddenly remembered. I was too busy these past few days. Almost forgot about this. Fortunately, there's still time. I'll be right there. Hanging up, I quickly changed clothes, grabbed the Maserati key on the table and went out. Half an hour later, Johnny stood outside the old apartment complex. And when he saw my car, he yelled, "Damn, you're amazing. A Maserati?" "Brother, no, Godfather. Our 3-year father-son relationship. Don't forget me." Getting in the car, Johnny, with a white bandage wrapped around his head, was like a curious child, peeking and touching everywhere. I couldn't help but ask, "What happened to your head? Who hit you?" Mentioning that, he sighed. "Don't even ask. After you left that day, I went home and kept asking my dad, but he wouldn't tell me. As a result, my mother heard, and the two of them chased me for 8 blocks to beat me." After hearing that, I could only silently give him a thumbs up. "You're good, that's definitely you." The class reunion was held at a hotel near the university. When I drove the Maserati there, the hotel manager's eyes lit up, and he quickly ran out to greet us. "Welcome, gentlemen, did you make a reservation? We're here for a class reunion. Everyone else should be here already," I said, then followed him toward the private room. The manager was overly enthusiastic, making me secretly sigh about the power of a supercar. Beside me, Johnny was excited, already thinking about how he would show off later to look cool. When going upstairs, I heard a familiar voice. Turning back, I saw Selena stepping out of a private room. The manager caught my eye, and immediately smiled and said, "You know her? Selena is one of our serving staff." I was a little surprised. She is an intern at the marketing group, with a salary of at least 8,000. Why would she still need to work as a server here? The manager explained, "This girl has been working part-time with us since her freshman year.